After 2 very long and miserable years without Champions League football, Chelsea are finally back in the top competition of European football, in the top echelon of clubs. We are amongst that once again. Now, don't let any hater online, don't let any content creator, don't let any pundit tell you different or sell you a different narrative. Chelsea are one of the biggest clubs in the world. We deserve to be amongst the others. We deserve to be in the Champions League. We are a European giant. We've won the competition twice in the last 15 years as well. We've been in the final 3 times in the last 15, 16, 17 years. We are supposed to be here. This is our home, and I'm so happy to be back. Honestly, it felt like we went on a holiday for 1 year, but then that turned into a 2-year holiday, and then by the end of it, it wasn't really a holiday. It's like, you know, when you go on holiday and the first few days are nice, and then you kind of just get to the point where you kind of do want to be back in the comfort of your own home. You know what I mean? You just kind of want to get back into your own bed and snuggle up and all that stuff. This is how I feel. I'm comfortable here. I don't want to leave. I don't want to go back on holiday. I'm back home and I like it, honestly. And I'm so excited for this season, the Champions League. I think we're going to do very well. And today I'm just going to sort of sum up my predictions, sort of my thoughts on how we're going to do in this Champions League season. And tomorrow probably I'll be making more of a specific video for the Chelsea-Bayern game, which is on Wednesday. So, yeah, where do I start? I mean, our games that we got, to be honest, I'm not too happy about them. I'm not too unhappy. We've got a good mix in there of challenging fixtures, which will really test our performances in the Champions League with these new players. Because remember, most of these guys in the lineup now have never played in the Champions League in general, let alone for Chelsea. I mean, for Chelsea, Cole Palmer's never played in the Champions League for Chelsea. Caicedo's never played in the Champions League for Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez played about 4 games in the Champions League for Chelsea. João Pedro has never played. Robert Sanchez. I mean, I could go on Tosin, Chalobah. I mean, Chalobah has. Chalobah's probably the only exception. The only guy that's even in the squad, Reece James as well, that were also in the squad for the Champions League. But genuinely, apart from that, we haven't seen these players, this squad, in Champions League football. So we don't know how they're going to cope with the change in environment, the change in atmosphere, the pressure. But honestly, I think the Club World Cup gave me a pretty decent indicator on how this club fares in knockout competitions. You know, we haven't been very successful in cup competitions recently under Maresca. But, I mean, domestic cup, sorry. But in the Conference League and in the Club World Cup, we won them both, and pretty convincingly. I'm not going to lie, there was never really any major blips where I was like, oh, wow, I don't think we can hack cup competitions. I think, you know, in a 1 fixture or 2 fixtures, home and away, we might not be able to maintain it. Honestly, I do think that over 2 legs, and especially in these group stage games where it's just 1 let-off fixture, I think we've got a pretty good chance. I mean, you see the PSG match in the Club World Cup final, that was just a one-off match. If we maybe played them 3, 4, 5 times, look, they might have adapted to us and beaten us the last 3. But it's a one-off game. In the knockouts, it's 2. If you can just, you know, if you can figure your opponent out for just 2 matches, that's it. You're through, and it doesn't matter if they realise what you're trying to do, because they might have realised it too late. There's no margin for error in the Champions League. That, of course, also applies to us. Can we figure the other team out? And can we avoid them figuring us out? That's the main issue that we need to get past. But honestly, I do believe in Maresca and this squad that they can compete with the top dogs in the Champions League this season. Can we win it? I'm not going to lie to you. I'll probably give my prediction a little bit later on in the video, but I don't think we can win it this season. I don't think, maybe cannot win is a bit harsh. I don't think we will win it. I think we can. I think we could beat a PSG over 2 legs, a Real Madrid, a Barcelona. I think we could do that. I don't think we will. I don't think we're the favourites either. Look, it's our first season back in the Champions League. I'm not expecting us to win. You know, I just want to see positive performances. I want to ideally see us get far in the knockouts and carry on to next season. But look, for our group stage games, I'm not going to lie to you, I do think that we should get through automatically in the top 8. I would rather avoid the awkward round of 32 playoff home and away. It's just 2 extra games that, especially in such a time when you're starting to get FA Cup games, the later stages of the Carabao Cup, league games are starting to heat up as well in the run into the end of the season. You don't need an extra 2 games to decide if you get into the round of 16 of the Champions League. We should aim to qualify in the top 8. And look, as we know, the only two real challenges are Bayern Munich and Barcelona. Those are the two teams we got from pot one. Bayern Munich's away and Barcelona's at home. So Bayern Munich, obviously the last time we played them in the Champions League, didn't go the best, let's be real. They beat us 7-1 on aggregate or something ridiculous like that. But this is a completely new team. Barcelona, we haven't played them in the Champions League since 2017-18, even before. And I think there it was a bit closer, but they still beat us. I think it was maybe like 3-1 on aggregate. I think we drew one of the games, I think at home, and then they beat us away. I'm honestly looking forward to those games, especially the Barcelona one, because Barcelona are a team that I rate really highly, and I really want to see how our players compare against them. I also rate Bayern a lot. I mean, they've got so much talent. Nicholas Jackson as well. It's going to be interesting to see if he plays. Harry Kane obviously still bagging goals, and the guy's insane. Those will be the two tough games that, honestly, if we even come out with a point in any of those two games, if we even come out in a point in both of those games, I will be happy. Obviously, I won't be happy with a loss, but I want to see us just compete, I can't lie, at this point against these clubs. I'm looking at our fixtures here. We have got Bayern, then Benfica at home, Ajax at home, Karabakh away, Barca at home, Atalanta away, and then what else? Are there any other ones? Then there's some in January, aren't there? There's a bit of a break. And then we've got Paphos at home. I think that's a Cypriot club. Yeah, Cypriot club. And then Napoli away to wrap it up. So honestly, if I'm going to be honest, if I'm going to be brutally honest, if I'm going to be harsh as well on my team, I think we lose to Bayern away. We beat Benfica at home. We beat Ajax at home. We beat Karabakh away. That should be a good 3-game run where we should pick up 9 points. And then Barca at home, I honestly think we can crawl out a draw there. I think that'd be a huge result as well. Atalanta away, that will be a tough one. Let's be real. Atalanta are a pretty tough team to play. Yeah, I mean, it's in December as well, which December time is usually when it's most congested, isn't it, the fixtures? I will take a draw there, especially if we have drawn to Barca as well and won the 3 games before that. And then Paphos at home, we should easily get the business done there. Rotate a bit as well. That's almost like a Conference League fixture. No disrespect to Paphos, I'm going to be honest with you. And then Napoli, I think Napoli away. Napoli away. Honestly, by that point, I think we should already be qualified if our only loss is to Bayern Munich. But I think we should still go there and get a result. Obviously, Napoli, Serie A champions. It's going to be a tough atmosphere like it was Atalanta. They're probably going to be fighting for their own qualification. So a point there wouldn't be the worst as well. So what in total, that would be what? 3 against Benfica, 6 beating Ajax, 9 Karabakh, then a draw to Barca, that's 10. Draw to Atalanta, that's 11. Win against Paphos, 14. And then let's say draw against Napoli, that's 15. 15 points honestly should be enough. Let's look at how the table was looking like last season to see where 15 points would get us. Okay, so last season with 15 points, actually we would not have qualified automatically in 8th place. We would have actually finished joint 9th. But there were so many teams on 15. AC Milan, Bayern, Real Madrid, Dortmund, Atalanta, Aston Villa. No, sorry, not Aston Villa. All those clubs, except for Aston Villa, all had 15. Aston Villa got in through in 8th with 16. So that means if we manage to pick up a draw against Bayern or beat Napoli or Atalanta, we should be good for automatic promotion or qualification. But that also means there is no margin for error against your Benficas, against your Paphoses, against your Ajaxes. We cannot be Karabakh away. There is no room for dropping points here. And this is one of the things that worries me, that I was going to get to. Last year, we obviously saw in the Conference League how we didn't have to sacrifice first-team players' match fitness and sharpness because we had pretty much a whole other squad to rotate in the Conference League. We had our Dewsbury Halls, we had our Casadei, our Mark Guies, our Sanchos, our Tosins. We had Tyree George, we had Ashampong. We had a lot of depth. Jorgensen we still have, obviously. We still have a few of these guys. But the thing is, that was good, but that would not have had the same effect in the Champions League. Champions League, yeah, you still have to rotate a little bit, but you can't get away with using Conference League rotation. And I think we've already seen that our rotation this year is not as strong as we would like it to be in the Champions League. Obviously, we haven't seen it in the Champions League yet, but against Brentford, we tried rotating. We played in Hato. Wesley Fofana was getting reintegrated back in the squad. And obviously, Buonanotte isn't actually in the Champions League squad, so it doesn't really matter for him. But we tried these guys, especially at the back. We tried Hato and Fofana, and it didn't work out. And we saw that we needed Cucurella and Reece James to come back in to get back into the game. And yeah, that is what worries me. Because ideally, you're not playing Reece James and Cucurella 90 minutes against Bayern, and then 3 days later, you play them again against Man United because you need a win in the league as well. So that's going to be interesting to see how Maresca deals with that sort of aspect to it. But that honestly, that is probably what worries me the most, is there's going to be a lot of group stage games, a lot of tough group stage games where we have to fly to Italy or to Karabakh, which is where's Karabakh even at? It's in like, not Kazakhstan, it's in like an Eastern European country, I'm pretty sure. If not even, maybe it's in Western Asia. But my point still stands. There's a long journey flights. Players are going to be tired because there's league games literally before and after, straight away, the Champions League matches. And I don't know if our rotation is strong enough, but at least we've got rotation, is what I'm trying to say. So, I'm not too unhappy with maybe playing Reece James and Cucurella and our first team against Bayern and Barca and Napoli. And obviously, we do need to win and get points there. And honestly, I think our depth should be just enough to then not compromise points against Karabakh, against Ajax, against Paphos. We should still pick up the points there with our depth coming into play. And yeah, we'll just have to see how that plays out, man. But honestly, right now, if I had to give you an honest prediction, I see us getting through the groups either by the automatic or knockouts. Honestly, I'm not too sure right now if it's knockouts or automatic after seeing last year's. But I think we get through the groups, we get into round of 16. And I think we get eliminated in either quarterfinals or semi-finals. It depends on the draw. It depends on the teams we face. I think we can get past round of 16. Quarterfinals, if we then face a Barcelona and a Real Madrid, a PSG, an Arsenal, a Liverpool over 2 legs, I think those are the clubs right now that can probably get the better over us, purely because they've got more experience in the competition. Last year, all those clubs went pretty far. They're a much more tight unit right now, and tactically, I think Maresca may still not be quite at the level of a lot of these managers, maybe in the Champions League. Because look, obviously, I'm not doubting Maresca. I think he can certainly be one of the top managers in the world, and I think he already probably is. I mean, he just proved that against Luis Enrique. So let me not sound like I'm disrespecting him right now. Obviously, I'm completely Maresca in, and I trust him. I just think this season, first in the Champions League, there may be a few learning curves that he has to take in for the future ones. That a manager like Arne Slot, maybe Arne Slot's not the best example, but a manager like Luis Enrique, even a Mikel Arteta, or a Pep Guardiola for Man City that I haven't even mentioned, or a Xabi Alonso. These are managers who don't really have to take those learning curves because they've already been here and done that and been through the trials and tribulations. So that my honest prediction right now is quarters, semis at a push. Honestly, I would be happy with that as long as we give it a good go. As long as whoever comes up, we give it 110%, and I can see that with my eyes. That is all I care about. That is all I care about. But honestly, I'm so gassed for this, man. I'm actually so excited, bro. I'm so excited for these matches, especially that Barca one. The Bayern one's going to be good as well. And hopefully we give them a good go. And like I said, hopefully we win. Because I've predicted us to draw against Barcelona, lose against Bayern. But honestly, we can win. This is not me saying we can't win against those teams. It's just me being as objective as possible. But honestly, bro, why can't we go to Munich and win? Why can't we go to Munich and Cole Palmer has a blinder and scores a brace? João Pedro gets on the score sheet. Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, they're running the midfield. They've done it before against big clubs. They can do it again. So it would be silly of me to rule them out or rule them off. But yeah, those are my thoughts right now on the Champions League, on what we can do this season and what to expect. These are my honest thoughts. But yeah, I'll be coming out with more videos on the Champions League, obviously, as the matches come. Bayern in 2 days. I'm so excited, like I've said already a million times. You don't need me to repeat it again. But yeah, I'll probably make a video on that tomorrow. And then obviously, as always, the match reaction and the match review. But yeah, you comment where you think Chelsea are going to finish in the Champions League this season, where we will get eliminated, if we can win it, if we will win it. And also, if you're not a Chelsea fan, let me know where you think your club will finish in the Champions League, or who you think will win it. So, with that being said, like and subscribe, and I'll see you lot in a bit.